Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I really don't want to I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm tired of fighting, but even more than being tired of fighting, I am tired of reading insipid commentary from people who lack perspective and certainly experience and are armchair quarterbacking and passing judgment on things that they just obviously don't understand. Hey, I don't know everything, and I'll make that statement right up front. And if ever I'm wrong, I will recant. I will say, hey, I was wrong. I will be completely transparent about that, as I have been in the past. The iPhone being a classic example. Y'all remember that infamous iPhone video, the first one that I recorded, saying that I didn't want one on the first day. I still didn't want one on the first day, but now, hindsight 2020, I probably would have wanted one. But the reason wasn't because of the hype. It was because of the experience. It wasn't the features. It was the implementation. And on that line, the reason why I'm recording this video is because I'm not exactly on a warpath. I just want to slap someone around a bit, if only because I know he is a figure in... Hang on. Oh, my virtual machine of Windows XP just decided to shut down on its own. Well, I guess that's kind of appropriate. Thank God I'm running Mac OS X there. I swear that was not staged, and everybody in the chat room, you're with me on this. Since it's 3 in the morning right now, it likely decided that it wanted to restart because of Windows updates. Anyway, it's really appropriate because why I'm bothering to talk about all this right now is because I just hit an article. Duncan Riley posted a link in Twitter pointing people off to Preston Gralla's recent blog post on 5 reasons why Vista beats Mac OS X. And I freaked. I was like, what? Oh, well, maybe he's got some legitimate reasons here. Not a one. He comes close. But every single time, just failure after failure after failure after failure after failure to not just get his point across, but to have a valid point. So I can look at this article as nothing more than link bait. I'm falling for it, but I'm just tired of these just blatant misconceptions being spread around as if they were truths. They are, at best, half-truths. And even then, that's a stretch. I thought he would have good reasons. If someone could give me 5 absolutely positive, valid reasons why Windows Vista is better than Mac OS X, I am all ears. But the stuff that he calls here, nope, it's junk. It's absolute bogosity to the nth degree. Reason number 1, Vista runs more software. Oh my God. You are kidding. Really? Vista runs more software and that makes it a better operating system? Because it's more compatible with more software that you're never going to run, or you're never going to want to run, or you never could possibly run. That isn't the measure of a good operating system. The measure of a good operating system is that it can run software and runs it in a stable environment. And then it has a good platform, is a good foundation for software to be written. Mac OS X has that. I get plenty of software, more than enough software on Mac OS X. It's easier to manage on Mac OS X too. Because, by the way, Vista may run more software, but try uninstalling it. Not to mention, how many antivirus, anti-spyware, text editor programs do you need anyway? You only need one good one, right? This is more software. Vista runs more software. That doesn't mean anything. Well, more people run Windows Vista, therefore it's better. No. Since when was operating system choice a popularity contest? I know plenty of people who were popular in my high school, and where are they now? Where are they now? Ugh, bad point. Bad point, Preston. That's 0 so far. We'll keep it tally. 0. Reason number 2, Vista is safer. We've gone over this before. Every operating system has problems. Every one. Every single one has problems. It's software. There are going to be security issues. You're wrong. This bamboo plant is safer than Windows Vista. It's safer than Mac OS X too. What does that mean? It's safer. And if you're alleging that Vista's safer because there's less exploits, like, spyware, viruses, Trojans, backdoors, etc., which I guess Trojan, backdoor, kind of one and the same. I don't know where you're getting this from. I really don't. Because from my perspective, if you were to ask me which is safer, Vista or OS X, for the average user, I would say OS X. Now, if you were to sit there and say, well, yeah, but Windows Vista has more security software available for it, I could not argue with you. Reason number 3, it's the money, stupid. Okay, now here we go. He's making the claim and assertion that Macs are more expensive than traditional PCs. Okay, I've told you before, it's not about the cost. It's about where people want that cost. Ask a gamer what kind of PC they have. I guarantee you could buy a Mac for a hell of a lot cheaper than the gaming PC. It's not about cost, dude, at all. And even in the baseline, there have been comparisons made between a Mac and a PC. And honestly, they weigh in just about the same. And in some cases, the Macs can be cheaper. It's not about cost. It's not about the money, stupid. But that was a stupid point to make. You have to look at the total cost of ownership, not just the cost of the hardware and the software that comes out of the box. And then you have to question what software comes out of the box. Stupid, Preston. That was just stupid. So 0, 0, 0. So you don't have a point yet. Reason number 4. He's getting somewhere here. The Mac is closed. Vista is open. What? Now, if he would have said the Mac is closed, Linux is open, that I would have given him a point for. But the Mac is closed, Vista is open. That's poorly worded there, for one. And 2, he's suggesting something that at some point in the past I wanted as well, until I realized why Apple does the things that they do. Apple controls the software and the hardware. And you know what? I'll tell you, as a regular old user, as a power user, as a tech enthusiast, I like that. I like it when things just work. They work together. It was amazing. Today, I go to my computer, and it tells me there's a firmware update available for my keyboard, my wireless keyboard. Okay, well, I press a couple buttons, and then pretty soon, I know that I've got new firmware for my keyboard. It fixed a couple bugs. Okay, did the same thing on this laptop the other day. New firmware is available. Fixed a couple bugs. Cool. Because the software worked well with the operating system, worked well with the hardware, worked well with the service, worked well with everything. They control the entire ecosystem. As far as a consumer electronics device is concerned, that's a good thing. So, while I understand the point that you're making, it may be a somewhat valid point in suggesting that anybody could put Vista on any PC. Would they want to? It's a different question. But there's a reason why Apple does what they do. And as someone who would have stood with you on that point just a few years ago, I can't anymore. I understand. Apple has a limited amount of SKUs, a limited amount of headaches, which makes just for an immensely easier time in troubleshooting problems. Period. End of story. So if you want chaos, go for chaos. I'm going with a limited set of circumstances because I only have so much time in my day. You're wrong, Preston. You're absolutely beyond wrong. You're looking at this small piece of the bigger picture. He's into slivers in the bigger picture. Ugh! 0, 0, 0, 0. So 4 zeros. Reason number 5, Steve Jobs. There's no doubt that Steve Jobs is a master marketer. He also knows good design, but he's also vindictive. Sends his lawyers after people who report leaked information about Apple products, who has hypnotized Apple users into drinking the True Believer Kool-Aid. Don't reward him by making him richer. Okay, let's go back to the video I recorded on the iPhone. I said I don't need to give a reason for Steve Jobs to be all that much richer. Or something along those lines. Maybe I phrased it differently, but you have to pardon me. It is 3 in the morning. I understand this point, and I do because I've met a lot of very smug, like just you want to punch them in the throat, smug Mac users. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. And that smugness only goes so far with me. I understand it if there's a reason, but some of it is just done out of pomposity. If you make a good product, it will speak for itself. It will sell itself. And if it's not good, it ain't good. And the community will tell you it ain't good. I am with you on understanding that Apple does hold pretty tight reins on their community, and I've called them to task on that. I've met Steve only once, and that was only in passing. He's got a company to run. He's not like a Bill Gates, if you want to make that comparison, or a Linus Torvalds, if you want to make that comparison. It's a different kind of company. Apple is I don't know what Apple is. It's a company that creates these experiences tied into hardware and software and tech, and they control those experiences. That's what makes them Apple. So I'll give you a half a point on this one, Preston. But then again, I don't care who is at the helm or really their background. All I know is I like what I see here. I like what I see here. I like what I see here. That's all that matters. You know, I don't need to see Steve Jobs' face on my computer to know that what I've got here is a cohesive experience. And that is what's been lacking throughout the rest of the industry. And I've explained many times over to OEMs how they can compete, truly compete with Apple. I'm hoping they're listening. Because yes, I also have a Windows Vista here on a box that's running an AMD processor. I support other OEMs. I support Vista as much as I can support it. But I'm never going to come out and suggest that these would be the 5 reasons that Vista beats Mac OS X. Because they're not valid reasons. This is just bad. And the only one that may kind of be a reason, it's not really a reason at all, is the one on Steve Jobs. It's not the feature, it's the implementation. So, I guess I'm challenging everybody, and for really, truly, give me really good reasons why Vista beats Mac OS X. And, I can think of, a few off the top of my head. I think that, by and large, Vista has done more with backwards compatibility in software than Mac OS X. That's true. They bend over backwards to do as much to ensure that software will run without breaking it. Doesn't always happen, most certainly. They have... I don't know. I wasn't expecting to list off my reasons, but that would be, I think, a valid reason why Vista is better than Mac OS X. because I think Microsoft has done more to support more software. Not to say there's more software available, and that's a reason, but they've done more to ensure that kind of compatibility to a fault. But they've done that, so that's a good reason. He said, Phil says, having worked with Windows all my life, I'd rather be detrimental to my studies, businesses, than to have to relearn my OS. That's true. There's momentum going for it too, but I've never really looked at momentum as a big barrier. Then again, I'm kind of a technologist, living on the... someone called me someone living on the lunatic fringe. We are a fringe lunatic. I don't know what that means, really. I try to use everything too, Linux Angel. Everything. So anyway, if you've got any other good, valid, true reasons why Vista is better than Mac OS X, not some stupid fanboyisms, just think about it at least. Challenge yourself to think about these things. Why is it better? Like, really, truly better. And keep in mind, it's the bigger picture, not just these slivers, because that's where Preston's at. He's arguing these slivers, not the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. The entire experience. The entire experience. This picture right here, this imaginary bubble that I'm putting around my head, this is what PC OEMs need to concentrate on. And part of that does include community. Big part of it includes community. So I think I'm done with that right now. I'm going to take my bamboo, and we're going to come up with a few more reasons maybe. So Preston, if you see this video, I've got a respect for you, but please do a follow-up and do your homework, please. It was just absolutely embarrassing coming from you. It was just I would expect that from a hack, not from you. I'd expect so much more from you. Anyway, my email address is chris@pirillo.com. I do receive a barrage of questions every day. I can't answer them all. In fact, I probably haven't answered you recently because I've been so busy with a lot of other things, not related to desktops. But I've got this live video feed that's streaming out over the internet, and sometimes you can see my bamboo, sometimes you can't. You could always see my computer sitting in front of me, and sometimes I'm using Windows, and sometimes I'm using Mac OS X. I'm just that kind of geek. See, I told you, I've got Windows running all the time. It's there. It's always there. Got another Windows machine that I use for other things over there. Like, sitting right over there. So, I live in everything. Or I do my best to, at least. But you're welcome to stop by and say hello and give your opinion, because I'm sure other people are going to give it anyway. This is a topic that comes up every single day of my life. Every time I turn to the chat room, someone's talking about it. And they're not talking about cheese. Although we do kind of sometimes talk about cheese. It's usually tech, and we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.